Views expressed by Casters Guild members are only the opinions of that member, and that could change from day to day. Guild members may use mature language, but that in no way means they are mature. Listener discretion is advised.
Your alt-tune mage is getting ready for the guild raid night, which is good because you're tired of typing LFG in public chat and getting turned down because you're spec'd for AoE. But now the rogue is GTG, but the tank is AFK, and the priest is OOM. But you'd probably be typing WTF instead of FTW anyway, because the druid is a ninja looter, and the drop you're farming is BOP. But that's the spell we're casting tonight on Casters Guild.
Ouch. I felt like I just did math.
You know what? I don't think I could do that better. So we're just gonna go.
Yeah, that pretty much made my brain hurt because every single bit of it was like a flashback to something.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Casters Guild. I am your guild master and AoE mage, Rick Perry.
And I am your guild master, Baron. I'm always going to play a hunter, Kane.
And joining us for the first time
guild
is a brand new guild member.
Yeah,
Feel free to introduce yourself.
My name is Bryan. I don't really have a specific role I'm going to play aside from, win. That's about it. Win is the way to go. But Paladin,
all right.
That's what's up. If I had to choose.
So let's go ahead and start with a little bit of experience. What MMOs have you played?
Oh, well, the first one was Star Wars Galaxies, long time ago. And then it was World of Warcraft, which is still World of Warcraft. Going on, I don't know how many years now. I don't care to count anymore. EVE Online, gave that a go. That is something. Let's see what else. There's a whole bunch in between that are like all of these, one-off knockoffs that people tried to make something better than what WoW had. Mm-hmm. And then eventually they just kind of stopped. And the only thing that really took its place was Final Fantasy. And that one I never played.
Gotcha. Baron, what about you? What MMOs have you played?
Well, it started out very casually with EverQuest. I remember playing that in like my buddy's room when we were in high school. Man, I swear that was EverQuest. Anyways, oh man, it was bad. I mean, looking back on it now, it was bad. But then that just turned into, I did get to play Star Wars Galaxies, which I thought was a lot of fun. I didn't get to play enough of it, but then WoW kind of took over my life. Trying to remember, I've done Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Which
I really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the whole, I have to verify who I am to be able to play over level 20, but their email doesn't work. I hate you, EA. And I literally just got done playing Fallout 76 right before this little podcast.
This is how little I know about Fallout. Mm-hmm. I didn't know it was an MMO.
Yep, Fallout
76 is an MMO light. You the quote unquote server that you get on usually has about 10 to 20 people on it, and that's it. But you do share a map. So and you never know who it is that's going to be on that map when you log in. Like it's not like you're just logging in with your friends. But
and I've also played the Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh, okay.
Man, what else? I know there's more. Anyways,
they'll come up over the course of conversation.
The resume is just endless.
Mine is much shorter. I started with MapleStory because that's the kind of nerd I am. I played MapleStory for a good year or two. Then I played WoW for a while, thanks to Baron. He convinced me to create my first character. That and when I bought the Season 10 box set of South Park, it came with a free trial of World of Warcraft.
Nice.
So I went ahead and tried it out and just continued from there. I also played Final Fantasy 14 for about a week. I played Star Wars Old Republic for one day. And I played Neverwinter for about 2 months. before
That's the one.
I was done with that.
That's the one I just remembered. I played Neverwinter religiously.
Neverwinter Nights.
Oh, wait, and
I
Ark.
remember that one.
Ark's a MMO. I played that for a little bit.
Ark Survival.
Mm-hmm.
I tried and I was just lost.
Yeah, you know what you need to do to be able to enjoy that game is get about 5 of your friends, rent a private server, and then just have fun. That's it. That's you cannot play.
Probably the definition of fun amongst my friends is let's get a private server and just kill each other and not actually figure out how to play the game.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That would work too, because either way, if you try to join a pre-established server, you have people that have been there for probably over a year, super established, and will wipe you off the map.
That's going to be Valheim very soon.
I just can't wait to watch the Neebs guys play that.
I've played it for a couple days now, and it can be really cutthroat.
I was thinking about getting it. I've seen it on Steam. It looks really, really cool. I love survival games, and I mean, if I can slap it into a private server and play around with 4 of my friends, then perfect.
You had your own server on Conan for a while, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I played Conan too. Jesus Christ, how many of these games have I played? Yes, private server on Conan. That was fun. And I was thinking about getting back into that too because they've updated. See, that's the best thing. We should have did this MMO thing last year because they've updated so many of these MMOs now that this is a completely new conversation than we could have had last year.
Oh yeah, we could have had last year's conversation and this year's conversation. They would have been two entirely different things.
MMO 2.0.
Yeah. Oh, see? Then we wouldn't even had a badass name like that. God damn, what's wrong with us?
We didn't have a guest who could carry us because honestly, my MMO experience, as you can tell, is very limited. But now we've got a new member, Bryan, who's gonna just talk for the next 2 hours, so we don't have to do anything.
And
Sweet.
go.
All right, so let's start with Star Wars Galaxies.
Yes.
May as well start at the beginning. Little Bryan, once upon a time when he was first in the Navy, decided he was going to play Star Wars Galaxies because his roommate, friend Rob did. And he was like, you can be anything you want. And I was like, really? Like anybody can be a Jedi in this game? He's like, yeah, anything. It's really cool. And then I was like, I'm going to be a giant white Wookiee named Snowball. And I'm going to become a fucking Jedi. So months get put into this game. And I'm sure you're aware of this, Baron. But there was an update that came one day that tore my life apart. Before the update, here we go. In order to become a Jedi, you have to find this guy. I don't remember his name, but you can't just go locate him. He has to come find you. At some point, if he comes to find you and you're not logged on, the timer resets and he goes to try and find you again. If you're lucky, the first time he finds you, it could be 5 minutes. There were people that waited 7 months just for this guy to find them.
Jesus.
And I was on that part, and I was like 3 or 4 months into it. And then all of a sudden, there's like, bam, update. And I was like, oh, cool, it's updates, patch day. Super. Everybody can be a Jedi on day 1. What?
Yep.
That was it. Uninstalled immediately. I was like, done. It was the biggest slap in the face. It was horrible. I loved that game. It was great. There's so many things you could do.
Yeah. I heard. I never got to this point, but the stronghold like decorating and designing and stuff. Oh my god, I play City Heroes too. Anyways, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff you could do. But the biggest draw to Star Wars Galaxy, I think, for everybody was before that patch, being able to be one of those few that could become a Jedi because you stuck it out long enough.
And it didn't matter what class. That was the best. You could be an entertainer. Let's just define what this is. In Star Wars Galaxies, that's basically a stripper.
Yes.
There are dancers, they're entertainers, and people and other players pay them money to do their job, which is to entertain at like cantinas.
Yep.
You could be a Jedi stripper.
Now, to be fair, you could do that in WoW too. I've seen people doing that in WoW.
Well, I wouldn't exactly call them. That is just The dirty underbelly. Wanting to scratch.
But yeah. Oh, yeah. Because that was like one of the few MMOs that I've seen that actually, like, the professions in there were actually, like, you actually made money off of that shit.
Yeah, and they gave you, like, buffs. Like, more constitution, things like that, depending on whatever your profession was. But, I mean, I knew people that they didn't fight at all in the game whatsoever.
Yeah.
They were just, like, brokers, you know? And that's what I like about MMOs is it's a whole world and economy more than people really appreciate or grasp.
Oh man, when I really got into that WoW auction system, I realized how in depth that economy was and how easily it was to shake that economy up.
There are entire servers that are like taken to their knees by the auction house economy and like gold farming and black market transactions, things like that. You can find right now. I guarantee I could log on to Classic WoW, because that's all I've been playing lately. But if I log into a Classic WoW server, if I go into the auction house, there will be a gray item listed for 5,000 gold.
Jeez.
And that's how people are making their black market transactions. Is they pay for it online, then they say, okay, go on your account, go to the auction house, put this item on there for 5,000 gold. I'll buy it. There's your gold. It's dirty.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, indeed.
Yep. So then you get these people that have paid real world money to get a shit ton of gold to be able to go back onto the auction house and buy some pretty awesome gear that they didn't earn at all.
This is pay to win.
Yes. Theoretically, WoW is not pay to win. However,
Right. Because everything can drop.
Correct.
And you can just, speed line it. That's it. But even in retail WoW, they have their own version of this basic system of pay to win or black market transactions, but it's not black market. They said, man, we're having such a problem with these gold farmers. It's killing the economy. What are we going to do to combat the farmers? I've got it. We'll sell game time for gold in the game. And then, wait, guys, they could pay us real money for a game time token that then they can then sell in game. And it gets better. You don't just put it on the auction house. It is a system that they have structured solely for selling the game time tokens. So when you put it on there, it says, hey, your game time token is going to be put up here. The average cost is about this, and it usually takes this long for somebody to buy it. Do you want to put it on there? There's no other item that does this. They combat gold farming by implementing legal gold farming, or it's the same thing. You just buy a gold token.
It reminds me of like those what are they, pachinko machines?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, you're going to go in and you're going to gamble for these marbles. You love marbles, don't you? Marbles are great.
I like how they roll.
Also, if you really wanted to, you could go ahead and sell those marbles over there.
Oh, I can sell my marbles?
It's not gambling.
Yeah.
It's not gambling. You could sell them though if you want, because that guy really likes marbles too.
He'll buy all your marbles.
So funny.
It's a crazy system. Other games have the same exact thing. EVE Online. Are you familiar with
Oh
EVE
my
Online?
God, EVE. I've never played, but I've heard that it is like people are making actual money off of that thing, like left and
Absolutely.
right.
They're to give you a broad scope of this. When I say that this game has their own in-game economy, yeah, everybody gets that. They have their own in-game elections for a government.
Yeah.
That is ruling over the entirety of EVE Online. And one of these people was like a congressman. He was, or a senator or something, and he got there was a news article about him that they were bringing up like fraud charges and stuff like that in game, but it's so huge that because his name was attached to it, they was like in the New York Times, and it's about EVE Online. Has nothing to do with his job or anything. And I was just like, this is insane. This blows my mind. But it is a big deal, especially with the game as established as EVE that's been around, just as long as WoW. But they have a system of like when you go to train for something, you say, okay, I want to fly a starfighter. Okay, well, that's cool. In order to fly the starfighter, you got prerequisite skills. Okay, I have to train all these before I can fly the starfighter. Train number 1. All right, this is going to take 25 minutes, real-time minutes. Even if you log out, 25 minutes later, it'll be done. Okay. They get up to like 17 weeks to learn one skill. Okay. Like that's how long it's supposed to take you to advance in this game. It is, you're entering the universe as nobody, and then you're trying to learn and explore and do all these things and eventually be able to fly like a starfighter, like like a destroyer, like in Star Wars, But in order to do that, and you can also build it, it takes forever to learn how to build it. It's crazy. But the way that they get around it is they sell Plex. That is the same thing as pay to win, because you sell Plex, people buy Plex because it's for game time, and it trades off the same way as WoW tokens, but it's like stupid expensive. And they have like sales like every other weekend, and it's like half price off Plex, man, Plex specials all the time. That game, like I've seen people roll around in like ships that are just like, what is just came into my space? What is that? And they're like, what's up, bro? Just started last month. What?
I don't even really know what I'm doing, but hey, look at my ship.
Yeah, and he's just like cruising around, just like, oh, this is awesome, man. Taking out for a joyride. And I talked to one guy, and he said that he dumped over $3,000 at least.
Fuck.
Into paying to be able to speed up his skill.
I don't think I've ever spent $3,000 on any of my hobbies. Not even like role-playing games. And that, I mean, I have a lot in role-playing games. No way. I can't. Christ.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Then, I mean, this is a completely different portion of EVE, but the paranoia in EVE, because when you get like actual money involved, people tend to get really upset when they die and when they lose their stuff that's worth like so much ISK, which is their in-game currency. That was worth like 70 million ISK. That's nuts. So, but it can be gone like that. Now, they also have, and this ties into it, there's a log of every time that your character has died, crashed a ship, how much the ship was worth, who shot your ship down. If you shoot a ship, how much was that ship worth? Everything that you salvage from it, it's a ledger of everything you do. So you go to join a fleet or whatever they call it, like a guild, and they look at your record before they even talk to you. They're like, "You've died too many times. You can't come. You can't be with us. You're a liability."
I mean, I mean,
if people are tossing around real money, I mean, that kind of makes sense. But at the same time, it's like,
imagine just starting this game and rolling into this and be like, "Hey guys, I want to learn the game." And they're like, no. Come back when you have like a couple more thousand experience points, or like whatever the term is for learning the skills. They're like, you have to have like, they can tell how many skill points you've spent to learn things. Like, and if you're not to a minimum, no. And then you have the people that have played long enough that they say, okay, we're breaking it down. This is the way to go to streamline this. You need to train these first, no matter what you're doing. If you don't have them trained, you're not going to be in our guild or our corporation. That's what's called a corp. It's dirty.
Wow. I had considered playing that game at one point, but then I got just a taste of that conversation. Just a taste of it. And I'm like, you know what? That is too stressful for me. If I finally get a ship and I wreck that bitch, I'm probably going to be done. Just done.
Like, I went just mining. Just collecting ore and stuff. You got to collect ore. You can just be a miner. You can start a mining corporation and just get all of these huge mining ships. And I was like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to mine stuff, and I'm going to be a supplier of. Why not? So I started doing that, and even like, because they have like PvE and PvP zones basically, and just like there's guards in a major city in WoW. If you attack somebody in one of these zones, the police or the AI come running after them, and they put a bounty on them. and stuff like that. But they don't even have to attack you just to fuck up your day. They can. So if you're sitting there mining, you got these mining lasers and beep, 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 get that ore. They come up to you and they bump your ship. Well, now you have to retarget. So there are people that will go out, find people that are mining, and just sit there and bump, 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 bump for hours just to make sure they can't mine something.
Holy crap. To what end? Like, just a troll?
No end.
Or
Just a troll. That's it.
Okay. Yeah.
It is sad that lack of sense actually makes sense.
Yeah.
So for what? To troll? Yes. Oh,
Yep.
All right. All right.
Yep.
1,000%.
Like, no other questions asked. It's, you know. It'd be one thing if, like, they were stopping you from mining so they could mine, like...
Yeah, they're not even mining ships.
Troll.
They're just in PvE zones, just making sure you can't play the game.
Jerks.
They're everywhere.
That's MMOs in general.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just, what kind of jerk are you going to run into? So, like, every MMO I play, I'm like, well, I'm assuming they're just going to do this. Oh, gosh, they are dastardly here. What is this tactic? I haven't experienced that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, yeah. I think, like playing WoW, one of the things that really annoyed me were the people that would come in when you were trying to mine, and they would just swoop in right before you got there, and or the people that would take your kills before you would get there, like knowing full well that you were there grinding for a quest. It's like this level 50 is coming in to take away the kills from a level 2. It's like, oh, okay. Cool.
I just need zebra hooves, goddammit.
That's all I want. And there's still quests like that, and like in classic WoW, you come across it all the time. Like, there's a place out in Arathi Highlands that you had to get some elemental fires for some quest, a mage quest. Well, people like elemental fires because they need them for stuffs, especially like in raids like Molten Core and BWL, things like that, where there's more fire involved. So they're constantly farming these things, and you go out there and there's this, max level dude just sitting there. As soon as they show up, they're dead. You have no chance whatsoever. So I'm like, hey man, can I get an invite to your party? I just need to kill like 5 of these things, and you can have whatever. I'll pass on all loot. Take it. No. What?
Yeah.
For why? Am I gonna hurt your experience gain at your max level? What am I hurting you here? Yeah, and they won't even, like, they could put it on a master looter, so you have no chance of picking anything up. You won't even do that.
Yep.
People just do not want to help.
It's just ways for people to exert their superiority.
Oh yes.
We can't be the boss in real life, so we're gonna come in here and be the boss. Okay.
Nobody pushes me around.
Whatever you got to do to make yourself feel better about yourself, man. That's
cool.
I
mean, that's just what some people do. There's like shooter games I play, they do the same thing. Tarkov, that's a weird. That's an MMO. It is. It's just a strange way to put it. But there's campers in that they don't care about the actual gameplay. They just want to ruin your day. It's every game. It's going to happen. Yeah. I'm sure League of Legends has people like that. I don't understand how that would work, but I'm sure it happens.
Oh yeah.
I don't know enough about it, but I'm assuming that people are like, "Oh god,"
all the time. So,
and I think that's the thing is in every game like that you're going to have any kind of element of interaction. It doesn't even have to be PvP, PvE. You have any kind of element of interaction. You're going to have these people that are going to be there specifically to mess up other people's days. That's all it is.
Yeah, that exists in real life, let alone in MMOs.
That's fair.
Well, I mean, that's what makes it worse in MMOs is it's an outlet for people to do it more often than not because they have the ability to do it incognito.
And we expect that shit in real life. We want to go into this game to avoid that, but yet here they are.
And there are some games I refuse to play simply because of how toxic the community is. Like, I can't be here. You guys are horrible.
Yeah. We've all been there.
Yep.
You know what? It's not an MMO, but it raises an interesting point. There's one game that took steps toward eliminating problems with toxicity. Overwatch.
Yeah.
They made the endorsement program, and that was a huge help. People stopped yelling at each other like all damn day just because they're like, what? I can't group with these people if my level's not high enough. My peer level? Yeah, you had to be
Mhm.
nice. Oh no.
And they even made it difficult to try to game the system because your friends can't endorse you.
Yeah.
Like if you get
can't
on
endorse
with people
yourself.
who you're a group with or people who are on your friends list, you cannot
favoritism.
endorse them.
It's great. They did a pretty solid job with the way they set that up, I think.
Yeah, since that is Blizzard, you'd think they'd learn a lesson there and maybe possibly put it in on some of their other games.
I don't know how they would do it with WoW.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Yeah.
I mean, on top of everything else, it's super established the way it is, and I mean,
That's true.
their big move to rejuvenate the game and rejuvenate interest in the game was to go back to old WoW.
Which I was really excited about, but after experiencing it, it is broke city.
Heavy sigh.
Broke city, population me.
Damn.
It's rough because the gold farming and stuff like that is completely ruined the economy to the point where there's they're pushing out expansions, not really expansions, but new raids and stuff like that took a long time to come out when WoW first came out. Like you had Molten Core and that was it for a while, then BWL, and then way down the road you got ZG and stuff, and then AQ. Like I remember being the opening of AQ and stuff. I was like, this is fucking nuts. It's crazy. It was nowhere near the same because everybody knew exactly what they had to do going into classic WoW that it became a cookie cutter. There's no exploration. There's no, how do we do this or where do we find that? Oh my gosh, you found that pet. It does what? It gives you a buff. Where'd you find it? I got to get one. There's none of that because, they have, Wowhead. It's the WoW wiki.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you every single thing you want to know. There's so many add-ons. There's really not the same joy in playing the game for a new person to me, I wouldn't imagine, as there was back then. Because you have all the answers.
I will say I tried to get back into WoW with the expansion with the Worgen. I can't remember.
Cataclysm.
Was it Cataclysm?
Yeah, because
it was Cataclysm. Okay. Yes,
I know that specifically because back during Lich King, I had to stop playing because my wife got a little addicted, and so I was like, "All right, I'm canceling both of our."
Oh, okay. I was like, you had to stop because she was addicted. What?
Yeah, no, because if I kept this,
make sure you say what she's addicted to.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, she got addicted to WoW. You see, if I still had my account, she would just log on to my account. So
right, gotcha.
I canceled both of our accounts, and I was like, "We're done playing WoW for a while." And then I felt as though she had recovered, and Cataclysm came out, and I saw the trailer for the Worgen, and I was like, "Dapper Lycanthrope, sign me up."
What?
Right. Well, and you know me. I mean. And my affinity for werewolves is I was like, what? Are you kidding me right now? Alliance? Weird, but okay, yeah, let's do this.
And then so I signed back up. I started playing again. I made both a Worgen and a Goblin. I tried them both. And as I played, I was just like, this is just the same stuff. I was like, now I'm a werewolf, but this is the same things I was doing back when I last played the game. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. And I didn't renew it. And then the trailer dropped for Mists of Pandaria, and I was like, oh, Kung Fu Pandas. And I was like, no, this is how they got me last time. I was like, I'm not doing it. So I just didn't. I didn't get back in on Mists of Pandaria.
Remember all those commercials they had about like famous actors and actresses like, oh man, I quit, just when I thought I was done. Drag me back in.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then Robin Williams talking about how he played like a shaman and stuff like that, and I was like, guys, stop force feeding me the goodness.
Yeah, Robin Williams, that was rough. It's like, really, you're going to use Robin on me? Really?
Yeah, they're like, do you know Mila Kunis plays? Shut the fuck up! Damn it! Fine.
Well, hey, that's what they're doing with D&D right now.
What?
That's what they're doing with D&D.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey,
that's true.
Terry Crews plays D&D. What the fuck, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
What?
And then Joe Maglione.
Not only does he play, but like
Yeah,
he
that
has
guy.
his own club and his own D&D clothing company, and
Isn't that
like
crazy? Oh yeah, he's gone full bore into this. Yeah, and all his wife
Designer
can do is
choice
just be
all
like,
around.
"Good job."
And he's talking smack about other celebrities that say they play, but they don't actually play.
Oh yeah. Oh, Matthew Lillard. Matthew Lillard.
I could see that. I could see a
Yeah.
Lillard getting down on some kind of dungeon, you know.
Well, what I thought was cool was Matthew Lillard. Not only is he's a D&D player, but he plays other stuff too. Like he played Cyberpunk with the guy that created Cyberpunk.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. I'm a big Cyberpunk fan.
I've never played Cyberpunk. It looks cool. I was waiting for my brother to tell me his findings on it.
The only reason why I even played the video game is because when I was like 16, I played the role-playing game.
Oh.
And it was just great. I mean, it's not an MMO, but Cyberpunk video game is awesome. I'm just leaving it.
So Cyberpunk is not an MMO.
No,
it is not.
Okay, I thought it was different. I don't know.
I'll tell you, it would work great as an MMO, but with all the problems that people are saying that it's having as just a single-player game, holy shit, it would just explode.
Yeah, there's no way they can run that many people.
No, if this launch would have went well, I could see them having eventually made a like Cyberpunk 2080 or something like that, and it would have been an MMO. But I don't. With all the shit that they're going through right now, I'll be surprised if they even get another Witcher.
Oof, that is a statement.
Yeah.
It
sucks. They're higher ups.
Only the second best game ever, or according to somebody, whatever. Who was it? They said that it was. Hold on. Where's my girlfriend? Megan. Witchers.
But yeah, their higher ups really fucked the cow on that one. I don't. Yeah. You know, the one that you can get the milk for free from.
I call that the Shaco.
Oh, nice. But yeah, man, that was a tangent. Where the hell did I go from there?
So what are some things we actually like about MMOs? Like, you know, why do we actually still play them if it's nothing but grief?
It's nothing but grief.
It's just the easiest thing to talk about.
Yeah.
It's the easiest thing to point out. I mean, I have plenty of times where I'm like, oh, like I know I did really well, but that's normal. When you've played this long, you just know what to do. It's not like like I come across some people and they're like, man, how do you play like a mage so well? It's because I've been doing it for like 15 fucking years. Like it's become second nature. It's just like anything else, man. Like it's not a big deal. What I really like about MMOs is trying to break the cookie cutter.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
Do what everybody keeps telling me not to do, because it's not the meta. The meta. I hate that term. It's thrown around so much.
That's not a top DPS build that you could find on this website. You can't do that.
I forget which one of you told me this phrase, because you were both teaching me how to play WoW around the same time.
Nice.
But one of you told me the phrase, "It's your $15 a month. Do with it what you want."
Oh, that was me. 100%. I know that's me.
If that's his exact phrasing, yeah, I mean, definitely I could give it to him, but I know I have a very similar fucking philosophy when it comes to that.
I still say that. I'm like, hey man, it's your $15, bro. What you want?
Exactly. If you have fun with it, fuck it. That's why, when I said I always play Hunter, I'm not fucking with you. I will always play Hunter in WoW. Why? Because I don't like to game with other people that I don't know.
Go solo.
Yeah.
And when people want you, you're a badass. You know?
Yeah, all I got to do is just flip my specs around, and I'm a marksman now, and I'm going what was it when I last played? It was like a trap hunter. It was the best DPS.
Survival.
That's what it is. Yeah, survival hunters were a beast there for a little while.
They were dirty in Burning Crusade.
Yes, yep. That was
dirty.
That was around the time I switched over to, because they took away all the bonuses and shit that you could get for your pets after Burning Crusade, I believe.
Yeah, there were still pet bonuses during Burning Crusade, I think, or maybe it was they took away the buffs, but there were pets that had certain abilities.
Yeah, yes,
Like
that's what
like
it was.
shadow stalkers or something, like those weird. I don't even know what to call them. Lizard things outside of Dalaran. No.
Yeah.
Who
Well,
fuck cares? Doesn't matter.
yeah,
Those things.
those-
They could like
those things
teleport
are-
behind people.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Whereas before, I just ran around with a fucking turtle. Why? Because they were,
It's tanky.
yeah, great tanks, and then while they were fighting, I could just take them out.
Yeah.
I
And
didn't-
if you're in a group, you're like, oh, a wolf. Yay. Cool.
Yeah. I think one of the big things for me, though, and I know I just said that I don't like playing with people, but it's people I don't know. But the best part for an MMO to me is convincing all my friends to play, and then we jump into a game that we don't need a fucking DM for.
Right.
And then we can just go in there, we can play, we can have a good time, we can listen to the story if we want to, we can role play if we want to, and it's just
hey,
great.
Calm down and role playing and WoW, bro. Don't go to Goldshire.
Oh man, that's where we're talking about the seedy underbelly, right?
Yeah, if you're trying to sling some silver, that's the place to go. I've seen some gnomes do some shit.
I knew a gnome that did some shit. And her name was Sugarbush. I'm starting to think some things now.
Were they friends with a gnome named Southmouth?
Man, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. That name does sound really familiar, though. How fucking crazy would that be if we were gaming together all those years ago? We just didn't know it.
Funny.
That would be great.
I think my longest running character name is my druid. It's Son of a Birch.
Oh, nice. That's a good fucking druid name too.
Son of a Birch.
Oh.
My name is it's been reported countless times. I don't know how many times. Every time I go PvP, I get reported. So and then like it got changed to I changed it to Rudylicious when it got reported one time because I had used like when you put your name in WoW you can make special characters.
Mm-hmm.
The name Son of a Birch being that long, I had exhausted every special character I could to swap this thing up. Where I couldn't figure out what I could change anymore. And I was just like, forget it. I'm done. I'm spending 20 minutes a week trying to change my name just so I can keep Son of a Birch.
Right, yeah.
Nobody could invite me to groups because like, what's your name? Son of a Birch. Can you spell it? Oh, fuck. I don't know. I can't. Hold on. Alt 274. What was the other one?
Yeah, that I do have to say that I was never ever a fan of those people that, and some of them were my friggin' friends too. They would come in with those names with all kinds of special characters and numbers, and it's like, oh man, or it would just be a normal name, but someone else took it, so they're like, okay, I'm gonna spell it weird.
I need to put an accent over it.
right.
Make it one of the hardest things to type.
The only way to do it is like you have to copy and paste it, or that was the way that you had to do it. Is say, all right, hey, stop it. Send me a private message. Thank you. / invite shift click, and then it copy and paste it automatically into the chat. That's the only way. Unless you're friends, and I don't want to be friends with people that spell their name like this. It's just too aggravating. It takes too much time.
Yeah, that's I don't know how I got it. But my name ended up being Lunos. Lunos. Boom.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh yeah, I remember that because back when I still used to play, after you had quit for a while, I was logged in during the Christmas event, and I got a notification that Lunos logged online.
Oh yeah. Then
I sent you a message and you didn't respond, and I was like, Brad wouldn't not respond to me. So then I sent you a text. I was like, did you get back on WoW because Lunos just logged in? And you were like,
what?
No.
Yeah. So long story short, I go through the process of logging back onto this character. And when I finally do, there he is on a mountain naked with nothing on him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, I'll be damned.
They got me.
Yeah. Oh, them suckers.
Done got hacked. I remember in like the golden age of WoW hacking, like everybody's account was getting hacked like left and right, you know. And this was during, what was it? I guess it was Cataclysm, something like that. Wrath of the Lich King or Cataclysm, one of the two. But you had a guild bank, which you didn't have earlier on in expansions. So when you had this guild bank, you could give people permission to take stuff in and out of it. You could set how much stuff people could take in and out, blah, blah, blah. Well, somebody was like, hey, you want to just take care of the bank? And I was like, yeah, sure, okay. So I'm taking care of the bank, so I have access to everything. And my account got hacked.
Oh, geez.
In 10 minutes, it was gone. I was like, how did they move this much stuff in 10 minutes? It's impossible.
It's uncanny how quick they move.
It's
yeah,
gotta
I mean,
be
they
like
had to have
bots
like
and
a
stuff.
raid full of people just waiting, and just like, all right, everybody get in line, dump it in, go, log off, no proof, and then it was gone. Everything was gone, and they kicked me out of the guild and all this stuff, and I was like, what? I was at fucking work. What happened? And I was like, bro, I've been playing with you guys for like 4 freaking years. And just today is the day that I'm going to be a dick about it and then come back and tell you, no.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, I get it. So, yeah, I lost the trust of everybody in that guild because I got hacked. I was like, you motherfuckers. I lost everything on my stuff, too. I was like, I have nothing.
Right.
I have nothing. It's not like just your stuff's gone. All of it's gone. Yeah.
And that's when they came out with the authenticator system.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. Yeah, I immediately after that, because the authenticator system had just kind of came out when you said that, and I set it up with the authenticator system and stuff. And
I remember they made it like you get a reward for doing it. Like, hey man, you get a free pet if you sign up for the thing. I'm like, yeah, buddy. I mean, I was gonna do it anyway, but thank you for the pet.
right.
It was one of the only apps I had on one of my first smartphones was the authenticator app, just so I could get that. I think it was like a molten core pup or something like that.
Yeah. Cute little son of a bitch too.
They even had me so bad I bought the trading cards so I could scratch them off and get stuff for my WoW character.
I remember those. I had them too, man. I bought those. I was like, hell yeah, let's check it out. I was like, otherwise I just have their trading card game. That's cool, right? And then Hearthstone, eventually came out. I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do with these? Man, I'm glad I didn't collect every freaking card they had available. And they're like, hey, congratulations, you got them all. You're like, woo! They're all online. Have fun.
They tricked us into buying cards for a beta.
Yep.
They're like, this is a beta test for an online game we're gonna have later. Go try it out.
I felt kind of beta at that moment. I was like, I'm getting fucked and I know it. And I'm somehow okay with this. Keep it coming, Blizz.
They are a money machine. I'll give them that.
They are a money machine. What other kind of MMOs are out there?
Specifically MMORPGs, because like technically you could call like Fortnite an MMO, but we're not going to go there.
It's fair.
Let's please not do that. That's a battle royale, plain and simple to me.
It's not an MMORPG. It is massively multiplayer and it's online, but it is not an RPG.
As far as I'm concerned, it's only an RPG because they have skins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people like making like YouTube videos and stuff like that. That's cool. That's groovy. You know what? I wish that I had known about Minecraft earlier on and like some of the stuff that people did in it, because I just saw it as like this rinky dinky little game that is just stupid. And then eventually I started seeing like, somebody build the Starship Enterprise. And I was like,
crazy.
What is this?
That was crazy. When that was
so long to load.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When at the time that was built, can you imagine what that computer was going through?
It had to have at least like 6 gigs of RAM.
At least.
At least.
At least like 3 external hard drives.
It was probably like running off of like a server, just trying to load the Enterprise. And then like when I started looking into it, I was like, wait, what? Back it up. And I started researching, like really, like reading into like what this guy was talking about. I was like, it took you how long? And it was to scale.
That was the thing that killed me is to scale. It's like, good Lord.
And like and then they put it online, and they're like, here, you can come check it out. I was like, what? So you could go walk through the Starship Enterprise, and it was cool. And like some people would like try and break stuff or whatever, but there was like a whole team. It was like it was like a digital museum, and it was the Enterprise, and people were just like going behind people trying to just cause fuckery, and they're like, hey, get out of here, come on. None of that. It's a sacred
not
place
on my Enterprise.
You're in the wrong holodeck, son.
Yeah, I'll tell you, as a lot of people don't think of Minecraft being an MMORPG, but it really is. I mean, some of the stuff.
There's a guy who is rebuilding Disney World to scale on Minecraft.
See, stuff like this blows me away.
Because he already did it once. And due to server problems and getting hacked and stuff like that, it lost his entire account. And so he had to start over.
So he had his meal and then found out it was stolen from his stomach, and he's coming back for seconds to refill that void?
Yes. He's currently remaking it. And he does it for like Make-A-Wish kids and stuff like that who can't leave
Come
and like
on.
go to
Right
Disney
in the
World and stuff like
feels.
that.
Did he do that? Was that why he was doing it the first time too?
Yeah.
And someone hacked him?
Yep.
Oh, burn in hell. Oh, that's horrible.
So, yeah, I think
That's
not
rough.
only did he get hacked, but then right after he got hacked, like I think like he was trying to recover the account, and then he had a house fire, and like he was using his own computer as a server, and like the server burnt down. Like, look, I could be making all this up. Like, I know I've read this story before. I initially heard it on the YouTuber Binging with Babish. If you've ever watched him, he has a series called Being with Babish, and he went and gave this guy a new computer so he could start rebuilding.
And I heard the guy's dog tried to save the server but died in the process. Oh, it's horrible. Binging with Babish cooked him a new dog though.
That's terrible.
I think they made a quiche, but
nice.
But yeah, he bought him a new computer and like a new scooter so he could like get to work and stuff like that. It was like a whole thing. But
okay, does he like live in New York or something?
Well, no, he lives in Orlando, near where
Rural
Disney World
Indiana.
is. So like he gave him
scooter.
like apparently he had a scooter and something happened to that scooter, probably got lost in the fire. So they bought him another scooter.
Jesus Christ.
And like he bought him another scooter. He bought him a season pass to Disney World so he could go and do research. He bought him a new computer and was like, "Here you go." He's like, "Here's what I can do for you, so you can continue your project."
This is my niece's Razor scooter. It's yours now. It's okay. I got a knife and I cut out notches on the wheels so it's off road.
I mean, thanks for all this.
Now.
All terrain.
Thanks for all this stuff, Babish. I mean, I still don't have a house.
Where am I going to put this awesome computer? I don't know. Go check into the Holiday Inn, bro.
On your fucking scooter? Get out of here.
Get out of here. I gave you something to transport it with.
Wow, we just turned him into a dick. Sorry, Babish.
The guy already had a new house. Come on, anyway.
Oh, all right.
I didn't know he had a new house. I thought he was homeless.
No.
There was some
Yeah,
misinformation. I heard, look, I threw in rural Indiana. He's got an all-terrain Razor scooter now. No house. He's got to transport the computer somehow. I don't even want to talk about crossing like any kind of river.
Right.
Or whatever.
In the winter.
Oh, how many uphill both way scenarios could he have?
This poor guy.
The world is stacked against you, so fold.
Certainly seems to be raining shit on Joe Cooper today.
All right. Just to kind of get back on topic. If you met somebody today who had never played an MMO before and they wanted to start playing MMORPGs, where and how would you start them?
Oh,
One, don't play WoW. I wouldn't want anybody to start off playing WoW right now. It's just so broken, retail or otherwise. It's just so difficult to get into it, even knowing and playing it for so long. Joining a new server, like when I joined Classic WoW, getting on a new server, level 1, bottom floor, it was hellacious trying to get to level 60 the first time because people no longer level together, like in dungeons and stuff. They pay for runs. They pay for boost runs. So mages that are max level come in, you get in the group with them. You're like, hey, they're like, hey, give me 20 gold a piece. So they make 80 gold per run that lasts 15 minutes, and they can run 5 dungeons in an hour. So 15 minutes, pop, 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 pop. There's 4. They're still not limited. It used to be like there was no limit to how many dungeons you could run, and the boost thing got so out of control that on classic servers they said, okay, that's it. They're farming these like low level dungeons too fast, and people are being power leveled like crazy, and they're throwing money at it. So that's fueling the Chinese, or not Chinese, was, you know, back in the day is what we called it. But now just gold farming in general, it fuels the gold farming, which fuels the auction house problem, which fuels the boost running, and it just stacks on top of each other. And then you get to GDKP. Do you know what that is? So GDKP is you're going to go to a raid, and we'll say it's just like a 20-man raid, and they say, okay, well, first of all, everything is on master loot. All right, that's pretty typical. Whatever. They want to make sure not just some random person rolls on a piece of gear that they shouldn't have in the first place. Like, there's just some things that don't make sense. Right. It's just common sense. So the GDKP system, they say, okay, everything's on master looter, but you're not rolling on items. You're buying them. They have silent auctions, and you have to whisper the master looter and bid gold to buy the item that dropped per chance that you contributed to help get to drop.
Holy crap.
And it gets worse. Like the server that I play on is so just overrun with GDKP runs that we're talking like you can go to the first raid that you can go to is Upper Blackrock Spire. It's a 10-man raid, but it's a dungeon. It's just harder, and it takes 10 people. I even saw a GDKP run for that. And I was like, this is nothing. Why would I pay for anything in here? What are you talking about? I can buy stuff off the auction house that's better than what's in here. Why would you even do this? Because people are dumb enough to buy into it.
Right.
So they buy gold, so they feel like they have to buy boosts, and then they get up to max level, and they're like, okay, I can't do boosts anymore. I have to go into the GDKP. So now I have to bid on items. So then people start running GDKP specifically to make gold because they don't need anything. So once they get in, they purposely upbid people to make sure that they spend more money. Because at the end, all of the money that is spent is split up evenly amongst everybody in the raid. So if you spend no money, you walk out with something.
Right.
So people do this upbid thing. Well, it got to the point where people were saying, no, this is ridiculous. I don't have this kind of gold. And like, oh, you don't have that kind of gold? Well, that's the kind of gold I want. You know what? All right, that's it. Hey, looking for member, GDKP, AQ40, 1,000 gold check on the bank steps. Your max level is 60 right now in Classic WoW. If you don't have 1,000 gold, just minimum, chilling in your pocket, you're not allowed to go on the run. You're not even allowed to bid on items unless you have a minimum of 1,000.
Wow.
How is anybody that just starts playing this game, how are they expected to have any kind of good experience when the only thing that they're told is you must pay to play a game that you already pay a subscription to play? But now you got to pay, basically, if you want to do this every week, or however many times it resets. Some raids reset every 3 days, some it's once a week. If you do this every week, on top of your $15 a month subscription, you are also paying a subscription to run a raid, and there's no guarantee you're going to get anything.
Yep.
Not even the chance of like rolling the dice and maybe getting it, because people can just pay more money. That's it.
It was kind of getting to be like that when I was still playing. Like, it was really just starting to get really like that. That's crazy.
And it's unfortunate to me because I love WoW. I really do. And I keep going back to it, but I wouldn't ask my son to play it and like really like try to get him into it. I'd be like, if you want to play, okay, sure. But I tell him like what is going on, and like I explain the ridiculousness of some of the encounters I have with people. And I was like, this is why the game is broken, because of these specific things. And all MMOs have the same problems to a certain degree. It's just this one is easier to extort people.
Yeah. The first MMO I got my daughter on was Fallout 76.
Okay.
Mostly because of I know her interests, and we ended up just fighting our way to the Mothman Museum as fast as we could, and then we just set up shop there. I mean, she had a lot of fun. I think she played a little bit of Neverwinter too. Neverwinter probably wouldn't be a bad one to introduce someone to. It's
like
free.
Neverwinter Nights, like back in the day, Neverwinter Nights?
No, there's a new Dungeons and Dragons MMO just called Neverwinter.
Yeah,
and it's kind of based off of 5th edition. When it first came out, it was based off of 4th edition. Because
is it based off 5th now?
I think they've made a lot of changes to. Well, I'll tell you what. I don't play it, so I can't tell you it's based off 5th edition.
Gotcha.
But it gets advertised to me all the time on PlayStation 4 because it's on PlayStation 4 as well as PC.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever they advertise it, they're always advertising this new expansion, and it's always based off of what adventure book just came out for Dungeons and Dragons.
Gotcha.
Like Descent to Avernus is the newest adventure book that came out for 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, and that is what they're doing in Neverwinter right now is Descent to Avernus.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
I would assume that they've shifted to 5th edition.
That's really cool.
The MMO is definitely a huge advertisement for the actual role playing game. And since you said that, let me back that up. They were doing that when we were playing. They did the whole the dragon thing and the Storm King's Thunder and stuff. They did that too, and that was 5th edition. But they were still using the 4th engine, fourth
edition, like
4th edition engine.
Yeah.
So
okay, then it might still be. I don't know.
4th edition is an MMO engine on paper. That's all it is. So they'd be smart to keep using the 4th edition engine.
It works really well for the game when I played it. So,
but that said, I would say that would be a good one. Like I said, because it's free. It does have a pay to win element to it, but I mean, I think all
free to plays do. Yeah, you can't have free to play
that's how they
without
drag you in. Yeah. Same thing with Fortnite. They made how much money off of just skins that did nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But so did Overwatch. That's fair.
The other cool thing about Neverwinter is if you have a group of friends who played Dungeons and Dragons before, you like playing Dungeons and Dragons, you can actually play the dungeon master role on Neverwinter and create your own dungeons, create your own stories, create your own whole thing. So you can run your friends through a whole adventure, a whole dungeon that you create yourself with the characters that they leveled up playing Neverwinter.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's a good game, I think, to get a good start on. You at least will. Other players can't really mess with you too much. I don't think there's a arena element to it, but there's not a PvP element to it. I don't think. The quests,
what they're doing nowadays.
Yeah, the quests are pretty straightforward. The leveling system is pretty straightforward. It's really I don't want to say basic because a lot of people interpret basic as bad. But
basic is definitely not bad.
Yeah, basic. This is basic in the best of ways, I think. And I know it's been a while since I played it, but it's because I leveled all the way up and I was doing end game stuff. And once you get to end game stuff, it gets kind of repetitive. So it's really good. It's really good. Yeah, so I think that's what I would push someone to.
I think that's a good pick. Not to mention it being free to play. If they hate it, I mean, they haven't spent any money on it.
That's big one. That's a huge aspect for me. Yeah, you can at least be like, look, download it, play it. If you don't like it, maybe MMOs aren't for you.
And it being cross-platform. If you have a friend who has a PS4 but they don't have a PC, you can still play together. So
that's the big problem with Fallout 76. It's not cross-platform.
Mm-hmm. Which I'll say I'll never really understand. I mean, if Final Fantasy 14 figured it out, if Neverwinter figured it out, all these other systems have figured it out. I don't understand why they couldn't. And it could just be because they're free to play. Who knows? And they just don't want to spend the money on it. But
Yep.
All right. So what do you want to see out of MMOs in the future?
How do I interpret that question?
What do you want to see? Like, what would you, if you saw an update come out for one of these MMOs, and you're like, yeah, like that's exactly what I want to see changed in these MMOs.
I guess a lot of it is it's gonna go back to protecting the economy and game development in such a way that it fosters a positive environment for new players. Not to come in and say the way that you play is completely gone now, and everything that you know about the economy and how you monetarily move throughout this universe, it's not changing. It's just we have to figure out some way to, I don't care if it's like, you break it up to where you don't encounter these newer people as much, or I really don't know how they would go about it, but it's just breaking it down so that now the server I play on WoW is so jacked that there's people that say I'm just going to stop playing, and when they switch over to the Burning Crusade, I'll come back because the economy is going to flush out at that point, because all of the the rare items everybody's buying that you can't find, or you got to get into these raids to get these items, or you got to farm for this stuff. But as soon as the new expansion comes out, all of that stuff is basically wiped away. It's a whole set of stuff to farm, and it's going to reset the economy a little bit. It's still going to be jacked up, but it's going to flush out some of this bullshit. And even
then, it's only going to be for so long.
Right. So if you wanted to play classic WoW, the best advice I could give anybody is start it at right when an expansion drops, because that's your best chance of going along with the crowd. Or
do they have plans for that with classic WoW?
Drops. What's that?
Do they have plans for that with classic WoW?
There have been talks of this summer, I think, that they were going to release the Burning Crusade on classic servers, which, I mean, I'm kind of in a toss-up with, because the Burning Crusade was my favorite expansion, hands down.
That's when I started, was Burning Crusade.
I played Burning Crusade forever. I mean, I stopped.
My first character was
at 70.
My first character was a Draenei.
Yeah,
like I started on Burning Crusade.
I love that place. The starting areas when you start as a Draenei and a Blood Elf were just beautiful. All the dungeons, raids, everything in that expansion was just the pinnacle of WoW for me. And that is the only time I could say is when to join is like a month or two, like however long you think you need to get to max level, right before the expansion drops. Don't worry about anything else. If you know the expansion's coming, don't worry about it. But other than that, I wouldn't join mid anything, because you're just too far down the totem pole. Or not really the totem pole. You're just too far behind.
Yeah, you got no way to catch up.
Yeah. And again, it's because you have things like Wowhead and questy, add-ons that just direct you exactly where to go. There's no searching. You have GPS.
Right.
But hopefully, even if they removed add-ons, that would help a lot. That would slow some people down. That would. There are some people, they cannot play the game unless their entire UI is custom. If their add-ons don't work, they're like, I can't play. What do you mean you can't play? Like my add-ons don't work, so don't use them. What do you mean? I don't play with add-ons. You don't? No. I play with a damage meter. That's about it. I'm very old school when it comes to it, and but also when they had updates coming out like every other week, your add-ons would break every other week. So I was like, I'm done. I don't want them.
Yep. Yeah. I played for a while without add-ons, and then oh man, it had been like a couple months into running with this group that I was with, and they kept talking about stuff. They kept damage meter being one of them, and I was just had no clue what they were talking about when they were talking about these different add-ons that they had. And finally they asked me what my readouts and stuff were. And I'm like, I don't, you know what? I'm going to be honest, guys. I don't know what you're talking about. So this whole time they've been running with add-ons, and I was not, and just didn't know what they were talking about. So they finally hooked me up with some add-ons. And let me tell you, it definitely makes the game, I don't want to say better, but it definitely streamlines it.
Yeah.
But like,
Absolutely.
you know, like Bryan said, it's like once you get to the point where these things start breaking after an update, it's like, why do I keep using these?
Yeah, and when they break these things, they streamline it, like you said, so very well that when they break, people are legitimately lost.
Yeah, it's almost like they get handicapped.
Yeah, so I think it's funny, but another aspect of that you brought up with add-ons and the damage meters and stuff like that is parsing. That's another big thing in WoW with add-ons is like your upper tier guilds and things like that. They look online because they have World of Logs, where if you do a raid, you can look up your raid and see exactly what everybody did. And there are guilds that go in there and they critique it. And if you haven't maximized your damage potential, they'll kick you. You're gone because you missed a click here and there, Like if your parse isn't on point, you're out. And that's because of add-ons. It's
right.
What these things do. Like they have to have an add-on that records the data, then uploads it to their website, and then you can go access it. But it's crazy. These add-ons, like it really, really changes the dynamic of the game in a really weird way sometimes.
Yeah. And I know when I played, I didn't do a whole lot of that stuff because I didn't do a whole lot of end game stuff. So knowing, how much damage I was doing against the raid boss meant nothing to me.
I just cared if I was first or not. That's it. I didn't give a shit.
I did use Quest Helper back when I was.
Yeah,
it was like the only add-on I used because like I want to know where to go to find that thing. But like, yeah, I mean, they built that into the game after a certain point in time. It wasn't even an add-on anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. I was really disappointed when they did that. I was like, this is the beginning of the end, guys. This is the beginning of the end. And like, my girlfriend Megan laughs at me all the time because she was like, "Oh, back when I played WoW, back in my day." I was like, yeah, shut up. Whatever.
Oh no.
Because I'll tell her like I'm playing something. I was like, I'm so fucking tired of this. She's like, what? I was like, I'm waiting for this group to get here. Like we're on the other the dungeon we're going to is on the other side of the known freaking world. And this guy is like, hold on, let me go over here and grab this real quick. I'm sorry, you're doing what? Does this have anything to do with what we're doing right now? No. Why are you wasting my time? Like it takes so long to get places. Like that was the thing when you got in a group. You're like, hey, look, we gotta go. It's gonna take everybody some time to get there. Is there a mage in the group? All right, everybody rendezvous at a major city. He'll port us as close as we can get. Then we'll start traveling by foot. But like we gotta go. These days, there's it's whatever. There's no like, what's the point of having a mount sometimes? Because you can fast travel anywhere in retail WoW.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need mages. You have portals in every major city. So what is going on? Like people became so lazy in the game that it made me hate it. It made me hate playing WoW because it was too easy to get anywhere. And then the one redeeming quality it had was the dungeon finder.
Mm-hmm.
That would be so amazing these days because it would fight the GDKP and boosting and stuff because they wouldn't rely on it because they'd have a queue of people that want to do it together.
Yeah, that was cool. I'll say one of the biggest. It has nothing to do with add-ons, but I'll say we're going to go back to the biggest, like the pains in the asses. When I came back to play with for the Worgen, I started playing. My nephew was playing by that time, and he'd been pretty established. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start from fresh. So jump in. And he's like, oh, you should put on this heritage stuff. It's like a heritage armor, heritage weapons, or whatever. I was no shit, like level 20 in a matter of 10 minutes. I was like, this isn't fun. It was way too fast. I don't like games that do that. I don't like games that have these things that level you up so fast that you pretty much skip past all of the beginning quests. I'm a story guy. I like listening to the story. I like reading the story. I like experiencing the story of this game that I'm playing. The point of this game isn't me becoming a big super badass and being able to wipe the floor with new guys or jumping into the arena and kicking ass. That's not the point. That's not why I want to do this stuff. So yeah, it was rather disappointing It's like as soon as I did it, I wished I could have went back, taken away all those levels, and just went back and just started over again. I don't know.
I suppose you could have just made another tune at that point, but like I do get what you're saying.
Mhm.
Absolutely. When I first got my wife to play the game, they had the friendship program. I don't know if they still have the friend program or whatever.
They do,
But
in retail for sure.
Yeah, I linked her to me, for the friend program, and she leveled up so quick it was ridiculous. And like she got everything she needed like so quick. It was crazy.
It was a Blizzard sponsored power leveling program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had friends that would like cancel their subscription for a month or two just to get a re-invite back. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, man, I want to power level a character real quick. I was like, why didn't you just do it in the time that you were offline? It's like, it would take longer, more effort. So you just took a month off so you could power level something in 2 days. Yeah, basically. I was like, oh my God. It's weird. I mean, MMOs all have the same draw in different aspects of the game that make people do weird shit that just doesn't make sense unless it's pertaining to an MMO. And then you're like, oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like Final Fantasy, I had there was this guy. I was in my first cruise in the Navy. He was on a cruise with me, and he was like, yeah, my wife is taking care of my farm. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, in Final Fantasy, she's planting trees for me. Sure, what? She's planting trees. Okay. And he had it calculated. He's like, it should take her this long, blah, 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 blah. He's like, by the time I get back, I should have this many saplings. And I was like, okay. And this, like, the number was huge. And he was like, I've got it so that, she does it, just minimum 4 hours a day. I was like, you gave her a job in your game that she doesn't play. And while you're away for 6 to 7 months, she's expected to go in every day, multiple times, to farm or however often it was. Like, it's on a timer. He's like, get in and get it. And I was like, I mean, you're into your fucking game. I get it, but people do weird shit when it comes to MMOs.
Job at that point, 4 hours a day, it is a part-time job at that point.
That's why I stopped playing like really like retail WoW, is because like it's just a chore.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you want to do, you want to get like the special item. Oh, you gotta have this reputation, so you gotta go do these daily quests. Something you give me chores I gotta do every day, and then I'll get an allowance. Damn.
So using this and using a different game as an example, Ark Survival Evolved. Jesus Christ. So if you don't mess with any of the settings, like let's just say you jump into the game, you jump into a server that hasn't messed with any of the settings, and you got these other people who are on the server with you doing the same shit, right? So the point of the game is you're going in there and you have to survive, first off. I mean, that's the name of the game. But to help you survive, you have to build things. You have to get dinosaurs and tame them. And then you have to breed these dinosaurs to get better dinosaurs. When you don't mess with the settings, it could very well take all night to tame a dinosaur.
Sure.
You trank a dinosaur, you shove berries in its ass until it wakes up. You're right. That's how it works. That's how
berries.
Right. That's probably why they're extinct, honestly. It could literally take all night. So you'll have people who will be there watching this dinosaur, keeping people away from it, keeping wild dinosaurs away from it. And then halfway through the night, someone wakes up, like literally in real life, wakes up, logs on, goes over, and takes their shift watching this dinosaur.
Yeah.
Until it wakes up and the tribe can claim it. Breeding is even worse because it takes forever for the dinosaur to have the egg, and then the egg has to be perfectly incubated to be able to start incubating, and then the baby's born, and then you have to feed the baby and care for the baby.
Hold on. Now I got to care for this thing?
Yes. If you want to get a perfect imprint. If you want to get a perfect imprint and it gets all the bonuses.
Is it imprint like where like it's like friendly with you? You mean kind of like what's that? What's that movie? When they're searching for unobtainium.
Oh, Avatar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you mean? Like, but is that what imprint means?
Kinda. Except the baby's already come out tamed, so they're already friendly to you.
Well, sure. I'm bigger than them.
Right.
Maybe.
So basically what it is when you tame the dinosaurs initially, you're imprinting them. When you imprint the babies, you're taming them. You're training them at that point.
Whoa.
They use
Babies.
the wrong words. They use Oh my gosh. So let's just say from the process of these dinosaurs mating to this being a full-fledged dinosaur could be a week.
Wow.
Could be a week.
You got to sit there and guard it for a week.
You got to make sure that it's fed and it doesn't die. And
when you say mess with the settings, do you mean like speed up time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can speed up the times. And when I say like when you're imprinting on this dinosaur, it could be okay, so you got it all fed and it wants care in 5 hours. In 5 hours you have to be there and you have to either feed it kibble, you have to walk it, you have to do something with it for it to, because that's what it wanted. And then 5 hours later it wants it again. And it could want 5 different sessions of you doing this. So that turns into, okay, I'm setting my alarm for every 5 hours. And then, I have to have someone go, because I got to work. I have to have someone go in there and feed this baby or imprint on this baby while I'm gone. It's crazy. It is a job. It is a job.
This reminds me of a scene from a movie. This reminds me of, you remember Beer Fest?
Uh-huh.
When he's in the lab and he's milking the frog, he starts falling asleep like, this is exactly what I'm imagining. Oh, baby dinosaur. It's fine. Come on.
No, that's happened.
Here, let me imprint on you just one more time tonight.
That's happened. I have had my shit set where it woke me up and I had to wake up, go get it, and then it really pisses you off when you've misinterpreted the time. You log in and you've got like 15 minutes until you have to imprint, so you're like, fuck, I can't go right back to sleep. I have to sit here for 15 minutes and then imprint on this baby.
This doesn't sound any less dirty.
No.
Any time it's said.
I gotta be honest. This is why I don't play MMOs anymore. Like at all. Like I like you talk about this, and like I was playing Monster Hunter World with some friends, and like that got to be too much like a job for me, and it's nowhere close to as bad as these things.
That was probably the worst experience I've ever had with a game. And then we messed with the settings, and it was like, oh, this is cool.
And now they're making a movie about it.
Now
Made a movie about it.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was that popular to warrant a movie.
I'll tell you what. If it wasn't for the Deebs guys, I doubt it would have been.
I mean, it took how long for World of Warcraft to get a movie, which was not a good watch. Let's be real.
I didn't hate
it, but it wasn't what I wanted.
Yeah, I didn't hate it.
Okay, everybody knows what everybody wanted, and it's Arthas. That's it.
We went.
They were trying to save Arthas. I think they were trying to be like, oh, we're gonna get like 3 sequels, and then
they probably were, but
picked
the wrong storyline, bro.
Mm-hmm. So me, a buddy, and my nephew went. Me, who had been playing WoW for quite a while. My nephew had just got started, and my buddy who'd never played at all. And we went in and watched it. It was like, it wasn't that bad. There were definitely a couple parts that were just like, what the fuck were you trying to do here? But like the mage, that was a weird one.
Medivh.
Yes, that was a weird sell for me. It's like,
the actor that played him, Ben, what's his name? It escapes me, but he's a hard sell for me. Like he's already like kind of creepy and suspect as it is, and then it was like, oh, he's playing Medivh, and I was like, I don't like you. Ben Foster, that's his name.
Nice. Yeah, I think that was old Ragnar's first big movie, wasn't it? The King.
The King? I mean, the guy from Vikings?
Yes, Ragnar.
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember what else he may have been in. I saw him in something else. Oh, that's right. I saw him in that Raised by Wolves, that series.
On that wasn't bad. That was weird.
Trippy.
Yeah.
Trippy weird.
Yeah. Can you imagine an MMO based off of that?
I want it. I want to go down this damn hole and see what's down there. I want it so bad.
Right. Just give us a chance to understand, please.
Yeah. What is in all of these giant holes all over this planet? Can we please just go down there? I know every character in here is, we don't go down the holes. The only time we go down the hole is to get our ship. Man.
Oh, man. What a weird show.
Yes. Very weird. If they had like old MMO, I'd be about that.
That reminds me, what was that MMO? There was an MMO that came out when I was working at GameStop, and like GameStop had a great big push on it. And a sci-fi series for that MMO came out at the same time. And basically, if you played the MMO, like each week as an episode came out of the show, they would update this MMO. What was that called?
Did you have to watch the show to get some kind of spoiler or like inside track on something?
You know, if you watch the show, you'd understand the story better, from what I understand.
That's your prize in the Cracker Jack box right there.
I think it was called Defiance or something like that.
Defiance. I mean, that sounds.
If you're if
I've seen this show and I didn't know it was a game and it somehow explains stuff in the show, I'm going to be really amazed and happy about it, but kind of pissed off.
So you know what MMO should have been better, and I'll admit I never played it, but the MMO that should have been better is the Matrix MMO.
I didn't know that they had a Matrix MMO.
Yeah, it was called Defiance. I was right.
Defiant, huh?
Defiance. There was you can go watch the TV show if you want now. It ran on Sci-Fi, and like I'm sure if you went on like Amazon Prime or something, you could get like the whole series or something like that. But yeah, basically the game played with the TV series, and you're talking about like an MMO based on a TV series. It reminded me of that because since I worked at GameStop, I got a key to play it for free for like the first 2 months, and it was terrible. Okay, I hated it.
But it ran for 2 years. Like it had 39 episodes, 3 seasons. I'm sorry. Wow, okay. I mean, Julie Benz is in it. She's cool.
I never once watched the show. I just played the game because I had a key. But
that's fair.
Yeah, why not? But yeah, the Matrix game was inventively called Matrix Online.
That makes sense.
I remember that.
And yeah, you would figure with the entire nature of the movie itself, that game should have been the shit. Like just straight up amazing. It should have been great. It does.
Yeah, I don't know. The concept of it has holes for me. Like I don't understand how you're gonna have an MMO when everybody wants to be fucking Neo. I mean, it's just everybody's flying around, just dodging bullets, or maybe it's like in the movie. My theory, he doesn't really escape the Matrix. It's only a simulation for him.
Oh shit! I guess we'll find out on the next Matrix movie.
Mm-hmm. That's what I think. I think like everybody, like each individual battery, if you will, they have their own simulation. Because we'll think about computing power and just trying to reduce energy cost. You know, if you're trying to use these things to gather energy, right, to harness them for power, you're going to want to use the least amount of power possible to care for them. Mm-hmm. So would you put all of these individuals in the same giant simulation together where your computing power is just like off the charts all the time because you have to monitor and change details for every single individual in the simulation? Or does each individual one have their own small, tiny little simulation and they all think they're the fucking hero? They're still asleep.
Yeah, that does make a whole lot more sense. It makes a whole lot more sense than a lot of things that happen in the Matrix, especially after the first movie.
Oh man, when the second one, when they had like, they're like, oh well, vampires and werewolves, they exist because it's in the Matrix. Everything's real here, right? And I was like, wait, is those guys vampires? They are. The twin pale like guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was like it for me. Zion.
Yeah, when they had that entire extended sequence of the Merovingians sending that woman the cake that made her very happy, just to explain that one thing affects another thing. It's like, did you not have a set of dominoes lying around that we could just like?
Here.
Is that where the anime? Is that where the anime Food Wars came from?
Yeah. You know what? Yep. Somebody saw
I
that
forgot
scene and
about
was like, I could make an entire series out of this.
I totally forgot about the Animatrix too. I forgot about that.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, that was crazy cool.
Yeah. If they had just stuck with the Animatrix and like not made all those sequels, I think that kind of would
Well,
have been better.
it's fine because you're gonna get another one, and it's gonna redeem all those bad thoughts, right? Totally. That's what the fourth installment always does.
I'm gonna watch it.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it too, just like I've watched every Expendables movie. Do they get better as time goes on? No, they don't.
No, they don't.
I just get to see new ridiculous faces like Harrison Ford. Cool, great. Now I'm gonna get Harrison Ford's in. I'm watching it.
I mean, and if you think about it, they can make these movies forever because these action stars are just going to keep getting old.
Take the Fast and Furious franchise. What number are we on now? Have they just started over with calling it Fast and Furious?
Oh my God, that's perfect. You just keep doing the Fast and Furious movies until they get too old, and then you roll it right into Expendables, Fast and Furious.
Yeah, it's perfect.
You're just waiting for these two series to connect. You're just waiting.
Will eventually. They're not going to connect. They're just going to become one. There's not going to be like a conversion or talks of it. It's just like, hey, it's another Fast and wait, they're just really fucking old, but they can still drive. This is the Expendables. This is the Expendables rush hour traffic mode right here.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. All right, back to MMOs.
Fast and
Yeah,
Furious
back to those.
MMO. Wait a minute. Oh, speaking of MMOs, but also not.
Were we speaking of MMOs?
I mean, we are. Yes. One of my biggest wishes was for GTA to essentially become an MMO.
I mean, it is.
I thought that
It
it
is now,
was
yes.
like essentially, but then I played it. I played like the single player, and I tried to go online, and it was just what?
Yeah, it's crazy. But I mean, like before it ever became one, when it was just Vice City and all those things, I was like, it'd be cool is if they did this and they could just converged it, and you got to go to all these different cities, and you could play with other people. And I was like, yeah, that'd be a great idea. Holy shit! I don't know if I was wrong or right.
I don't know if you should have wrote it down or not. You're either a millionaire or they missed the concept entirely.
I can tell you there are a lot of people that's the only game they play. I mean, they gotta like something about it.
Oh yeah, my brother plays it like constantly, all the time. He loves that game. He plays, he does role playing stuff like that, and right on. I just never got into role playing bank robbery. But I know there's plenty of things to role play in the game. It's just I don't know. It's maybe it's the mechanics of the game. It doesn't feel like I'm connected enough to invest that kind of imagination.
Sure. Yeah. No. For me, growing up and playing the GTA games, you played GTA when you wanted to disconnect from the story, like when you wanted to completely disconnect. You just wanted to jump in, see how hard you could get your wanted level, and then how long you could survive.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the game. There were quests in this game. There's missions. I was playing with my brother like a long time ago, like on the first one, and he was like, "Oh man," he's like, "We gotta do this so we can buy a car." And I was like, "Well, just steal it. It's Grand Theft Auto. That's the whole point of this game is you steal cars. It's called Grand Theft Auto." And it was like one of the things that he was super against when we were playing. He was like, "No." It's like, I don't. Then what are we doing? What are we playing?
Grand Lease Auto.
Yes. All right. 10 months, no money down.
I have to get insurance because it's illegal to drive this car without insurance through San Andreas or something.
The only insurance you have right now is you need to make sure that you check that box that says nobody can steal my car, which is crazy. I played online. It was like nobody else can drive your car. I was like, what? You can make it so that nobody can drive your fucking car. How does what? This negates the whole title.
Yeah.
Maybe that's their equivalent of clicking out of PvP. I don't
guess so. I mean, you can still get killed. They just can't take your whip. You know.
I could see though that would get awfully freaking expensive. And think about EVE Online. I mean, you bust up that ship. It's
the number of times I've had people say, because like usually my stream's Terry Radford after my rep. So they're like, Terry, how many times are you gonna die tonight? I'm like, I don't know. Okay, the night is still young.
I do what I want.
I do what I want. And they if you don't go, reclaim your wreckage, or somebody else doesn't claim it, just sits out there in space forever. And then somebody just come around and they're like, oh, hey, wreckage, what's this? Oh, it's Terry Radford ship. So they're like, we set up shop when I started playing this game. Like, here's another crazy aspect of EVE. Like, every single system that you go to, like a solar system, is basically like, an area. You can go to different areas. You go to zoom to different planets that are in this area, and you can do whatever. But there are black holes.
Yeah.
This is my favorite aspect of EVE Online: hole jumping.
What?
So you have to get a scouting ship that can track down cosmic anomalies. Basically, you find black holes. You find all kinds of stuff, but you can find a black hole. Now, if you think of a black hole as a room, when you go inside the room, like you find this random door, and you open it up, and there's just a mysterious room. So the first thing you want to do is say, okay, I need to identify and mark on my map where this room is first. So once you go inside the black hole, you are now, nobody else can get in here unless they find a door. There are exits inside the hole that take you to who the fuck knows. You could be on, I mean, when I say like the universe, like the EVE universe is ginormous. It's insanely big. So you can be like here and end up over here. But when you go out the door, if you don't like turn around and say, oh, there's the door, I need to remember that. And then you fly away and you're like, all right, it's time to go home. Oh no. Where's the door?
This looks like the door to my new home.
So then you're like, all right, I got to scan down the door. I got to find it again. You don't know who else is in this system with you now. You are now just in unknown territory, and anybody can be stealthed or whatever, tracking you. So if they see you come out of the hole, they can track you and go follow you back through the hole and kill you inside the black hole. What happens inside the black hole when you die? Here's the best part, and this is what really, really brings it home. The doors into the black holes, they don't stay there forever. They collapse after a certain amount of time. So they last for like, 12 to, we'll say 12 hours. Once the hole collapses, if you're inside, if you imagine the movie Krull, you're inside the black, like the dark castle. Once those doors close, when the new ones open up to let you out, we don't know where they lead. So it's like if you're inside the hole, I mean the doors they're constantly revolving to anywhere. So when I started playing, I lived inside of a black hole. So our fleet lived in the black hole, and we lived like in the dark castle, or whatever you want to call it, from Krull, and it would just like kind of skip around, and like we pop into these places. And like when I say pop in, meaning the hole opened up, and on the other side they see like, oh hey, a black hole just appeared. Where does it go? And they hop in, and here we are. And they're like, ah!
That would be kind of terrifying to play that game. Just know, especially like if you knew that there was just this corp that was hanging out in a black hole that could open up in your area at any moment. What they did was whenever they popped in, they would swarm out, take whatever was there, and then swarm back in. Yeah. How terrifying would that be?
Now here's the one redeeming thing you have. When you go through a black hole, every time somebody uses the hole, it deteriorates the stability of the black hole, so it can collapse sooner. So as if, like what you're saying, you see this random black hole pop in, a scout goes through and says, oh shit. And then everybody in their corp that is it's the hole is now in their vicinity. Everyone is like, everybody in the hole, in and out, in and out, in and out. We need to cycle it down, collapse it now before we have a chance to come through. It's hilarious. We don't even have to do anything. Like, we're not even attacking. We're just in there chilling. Like, they're like asteroids and stuff spawn inside the black hole, so I can go mine. Just collect resources and stuff. So I'm just in a mining ship, no guns at all. People pop in, they're like, "Oh shit, there's somebody inside the hole," and they see like our space station that doesn't have any guns. It doesn't really do anything to them. We're just kind of chilling there, which we just live in the hole. But they're so freaked out by it that they collapse the holes immediately.
That would be freaky, though. That's freaky.
It's very freaky because I've gone into a black hole where it's a straight up war zone. And because one of my favorite things was hole jumping. So I'd get a scouting ship and I find a black hole and I go in, identify all the exits and go check out each one and see if there's another black hole at one of the exits, and I would just across the universe. And then I popped into one. That was a door I should not have opened. So I get inside and I was like, let me scan this down real quick. And I scan it down and I was like, oh God, there's a lot going on in here. It took me about 5 seconds to realize I had picked the wrong door, and it took about 6 seconds for me to die. As soon as I was like, I shouldn't be here, blap, okie dokie. And there's the funny part is once you're on the other side of the universe from hole jumping and you die, you can res yourself at home. If you want to get your shit back,
you gotta go find it.
Good luck. So I would go out like bare bones, like super small. Like, if you kill me, I don't care. I'm just having fun hole jumping. It's a lot of fun. Little aspects of that game are really, really cool. Like, if you're not into the PvP, there's a whole lot of stuff you can do just for exploration and stuff. But hole jumping was my favorite because you just don't know what's going to happen.
It sounds like almost like No Man's Sky, except good.
Except good. Well, you don't run around. You're in a ship at all times.
Well, yeah.
So it's it's really, it's kind of like Counter-Strike, kind of like overview kind of feeling to it, because you're always in a ship. Never walk around.
Now, EVE Online did have that companion first-person shooter game.
I never played it. I heard about it.
And that you could actually hire mercenaries who were playing the first-person shooter game to run missions for you, and it would do things in the online game.
That's crazy. There's one aspect of EVE Online that I do know about that's very cool. It's radio telegraphy. Well, basically what they do is there's an institute in Europe that they collect all of these radio samples that they've sent out into space, and they've got the return backs, and that's how they map out the universe to figure out, is there a planet there, or what's here? They send out the waves and the difference in them, and they study them, and you can tell if there's an elliptical planet, going around something. So they have this thing on there that you can do, and it teaches you how to interpret these radio signals, and you try to, at your best guess, determine what am I looking at here. And it looks like an O-scope. It's just, that's it.
Sure.
So you can get in-game stuff like vanity items, stuff like that. You can get in-game money for doing it. But the cool part about it is that all of this data is collected and it's sent to this university. They're basically asking the world for help to help them determine what the fuck is out here. So they get enough people saying, we think it's this. And they're like, all right, let's see if we can verify or prove that it's this or not. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's an interesting way to help with, space exploration. That was my favorite aspect of it is, it's a game about space exploration and, space in general, but they have a lot of stuff that is geared toward the forward movement of exploration.
Yeah, that's actually really cool.
And even if you don't like the game, you can still do the little radio thing, and it's still fun. Just because, I did it for hours and hours, just because I was like, this is really cool. I dig space a lot, and yeah.
So before we wrap up, I'll ask you both. what was your favorite part of playing MMOs? What was your one moment or your one thing, other than something you've already said, where you were like, man, like this is why I keep playing?
It goes back to me all the way to Star Wars Galaxies. Still, the idea of a giant white Wookiee that's a marksman, doesn't even get up in anybody's face, could be a Jedi.
Yeah, that is
still
cool.
I still dig the shit out of. You can start out as any character, whatever. Okay, you can be a badass. It's possible. Just depends on what game you're playing. It tweaks the level that you're trying to achieve here. But yeah, like the idea of achieving like something like that is really cool to me. It's a solid goal for somebody in a game until they snatch it out from under you.
Right.
Galaxies. We're still talking about you.
Nice.
I'm not bitter though. Me?
I will say that I think that City of Heroes really did it for me. And it was a few things. It was being able to have like a secret hideout. And it's
lair.
Yeah, a lair, that's what they were called. And your guild, like your superhero team, put it together and decorated it and stuff like that. But it was just neat how they handled it.
Your guild or whatever, was it called a league or something weird? Like I wanted to be like, it's called league just because.
I feel like it should have been called league, but I don't know what it was called. I also remember being in a costume contest because, you can adjust your costume and stuff in that.
Oh, yeah.
So they would do costume contests, and I actually won one of the costume contests. I was like, oh, that's very cool.
That is pretty cool.
And I think that City of Heroes, despite having failed, actually probably did the best of any MMO I've ever played in terms of customization, character freedom, and being able to. They did a City of Villains.
Yeah, I remember that.
And this was hilarious. So I wanted to make a bad guy, right? I'm making a fucking straight villain. So I made a guy named
imprints on babies on the regs.
Yeah, crazy. It's crazy. Once every 5 hours. Mm-hmm. But I made a guy named Stars and Bars, right? And I was like, okay, well, this is like, the most bad guy I could think of. All the other villains hated me. Just hated me. And I'm like, you know what?
Villains ain't got time for racism.
Right. I was like, you know what? And they would DM me all the time. Like, they were like, you're despicable. I was like, look, you know what? Believe me, I fucking love that you hate him. I love it.
That's
but
the
please, please know that this is supposed to be a villain. I'm making a villain. And they kind of got it, but they kind of didn't. And I'm like, but in my heart, I was like, okay, I'm glad that you, the player, hate them, because that means that this is bad. You make me happy. You make me happy that this is bad. So, yeah, I was good. Also, I made Invader Zim in it, and it was fun.
That reminds me of one quick thing. I made a character on a role-playing server on WoW. It was a human priest, white guy, long, whatever. Just looks like a priest. Hey, what's up, guys? Mm-hmm. But I named him Father Touchy, and I got banned like that. Like, it was so fast. I'd never been kicked off of WoW so quickly. And I was like, I thought it was funny. It was not.
It was not. It was not.
I was like, all right, I guess I didn't consider my audience correctly.
All right, Bryan, you want to go ahead and throw a ball on this thing?
Oh, okay. I should throw a ball on this thing. Like, what?
Yeah, do that too. Yeah.
Well, I think that when we started this out, I think that my first impressions were we were going to be talking mostly about WoW and pretty much talking about all the bad things that come with MMOs, and I wasn't wrong, nor was I disappointed. So, as far when it comes to the world of MMOs, having WoW as the basis of comparison for all the other ones isn't necessarily surprising at all. But I think that we brought up quite a few good memories. I mean, I remembered at least 7 MMOs that I played and forgot about, and I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good about the whole thing, and I'm actually kind of looking forward to picking up the controller and playing in some more, and maybe even getting in some role playing.
Yeah, I think I might even try to pick up Neverwinter again. Like talking about it a little bit made me realize
Me
how fun
too.
that was, and I was like, you know what, maybe I need to play Neverwinter a little bit again.
That free
Bryan, if someone liked what you had to say and they want to find you somewhere else on the internet, where could they do that?
There's always my Twitch stream. You know, there's always that.
What is your
would
Twitch?
be at, it's a bacon_tactics. Just here we go. Twitch.tv/bacon_tactics. Bacon tactics.
Yeah, go check them out. Email us at castersguild@gmail.com with your questions or ideas about other episodes that you'd like to hear from us. Check out the links below for Bryan's Twitch and all of our socials, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Adios.
Bye, 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 bye,
Bye. Bye.
Later.
bye.
I don't know these people.
GG, GG, GG.